Hello guys, and welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. My name is James, and today we're going to go ahead and sit down and talk to you guys about the latest news in regards to Reading Football Club. Now, there's been not a lot of news over the last week or so, as we've seen a few contract extensions happen, a few transfer rumours here and there, and a couple of pre-season games that have been announced. Now, we'll start off with the boring stuff first before we go into the squad talk. So we'll talk about these pre-season friendlies. Reading have announced they've two new fixtures for their pre-season schedule. Hungerford Town away from home will happen this Saturday, and then on July the 19th, European champions will grace the SCL pitch as Tottenham Hotspur come to the Madejski. Now, what does this look like now for Reading's pre-season schedule? Well, for me, I think that's probably it done for now. Obviously, now it's pretty stacked out, if we're being quite honest. Reading now will be playing Hungerford this Saturday before a trip to Gillingham the Saturday after. Swindon Town will then visit Bearwood Park before Tottenham grace the SCL. Oxford United is then going to be the next team to take on Reading at Bearwood before the last pre-season game against Portsmouth, once again at the SCL. That then leads us into the start of the season where Reading will be playing Lincoln City away from home. And for me, when you take a look at the teams Reading are playing this season, it's pretty decent in your pre-season schedule. You've got a good mixture of experience and a good mixture of quality there when you've got some championship sides like Oxford and Portsmouth. You've got European sides like Tottenham Hotspur, and then you've got a couple of League Two sides like Gillingham and Swindon in there as well. So a good mixture and a good test of the fitness for the boys as well. Reading have also announced a pre-season training camp where they'll be going to Ireland for a couple of days. Be good for the boys. I'm sure it'll be good for team building. And yeah, look, there's no games going to be happening over there, so hopefully they just have some good weather and have some good times and pick up no injuries. Now, in terms of the contract extensions, Reading went ahead and handed out 9 new contracts to academy players. The standout from them list for me were Ashgar Ahmed, Basil Tuma, Jacob Borgnis, Abraham Kanu and Shay Spencer. Now, for me, I think it'll be bordering first team / reserve team appearances next season for the likes of Shay Spencer and for the likes of Abraham Kanu. If Kanu doesn't get a loan spell out, which he should do, but if he doesn't, I'm sure we'll see them in EFL trophy games and maybe coming in as backup here and there for next season. For me, Ashgar Ahmed is someone that has got a lot of potential as well. I'm sure we'll see him in EFL trophy games. He was the only one that was given a 2-year extension, whilst the rest of them were all given 1-year deals. And for Basil Tuma, I think it's going to be a big season for him. There's been a lot of talk around the potential of Basil Tuma for a very long time at Reading Football Club. And for me now, it's time for him to fulfil that. If he doesn't, it should be the end of his time with the Royals. So for me, a big year for Tuma, and hopefully we see him grow massively as a player over the next 12 months. Now, in terms of other contract extensions, we've seen Jarrell Dorset and we have seen Tavonge Rashisha both sign new deals with the Royals. They've both signed 1-year deals, and for me, both of them came across fantastically in their interview. Jarrell Dorset comes across as a real proper Reading boy, really did seem like he bleeds blue and white and was really proud to call Reading his home. And as well with Tavonge Rashisha, look, he's someone that can fill in fantastically in multiple positions, whether it's centre midfield or at right back. I'm glad to see Rashisha stay. For me, Dorset will have a big season this year if he's able to stay injury free, whether it's him filling in at left back or whether it's him being the centre back partner for Paudie O'Connor. Potentially could see that happen. If it does happen, I'm sure Reading will have the heaviest centre back partnership in the division. Both men have got to be over 100 kg, so look, maybe there's not a lot of pace in that back line there, but if we're getting beat in aerial duels, there's something going wrong there. Now, in terms of contract extension rumours, both players haven't signed new deals just yet in terms of Michael Craig and Kelvin E. The rumour on the street is that E. has signed a new deal, but Michael Craig has not. Now, again, this is based off in the know people from Twitter, but the rumour is that Michael Craig is demanding a 12 grand a week salary. And for me, that's overpaying for a player there. 12 grand a week for me is around a championship wage. And Michael Craig is a very good player, but someone that wouldn't start in the starting 11 in terms of the midfield for me currently. Who do you drop out of Nibs, Wing and Savage for Michael Craig? Look, Craig has done fantastic when he has come in, whether it's him playing in the defensive midfield position in the first season of the Sellers, or whether it was him playing at right back in the second season. But for me, demanding 12 grand a week is a little bit too much money, and that's something we saw in the previous regime where they would overpay for players and they would give them what they want. If this is something that Craig wants, maybe it's best to move on. Now, the rumour is Leyton Orient are willing to pay him that, and he's set to sign a deal with them. And look, his agent's done wonders if he's got him 12 grand a week. But for me, overpaying for players is something that happened in the past for Reading under Dai Young. And it's something I don't want to see continue under the Rob Cohick era. So look, if Craig's demanding 12 grand a week, unfortunately, it's time for Craig to move on. Now, the next thing we'll talk about is the few transfer rumours, and the first one is that Matty Jacobs is a player that Reading are set to sign. He's set to join Reading on loan from Hull for the season. We've actually beaten strong competition like Bolton Wanderers to capture his signature, so for me, it's a good signing. Again, I don't know a lot about Matty Jacobs, so I'm not going to sit here and claim to be an expert. 8 appearances for Hull City last year with 1 goal, that coming in Ruben Sellis' side's win over Sheffield United. But for me, tiny bit of concern is that he's in his his early 20s, and he has less appearances than Andre Garcia, who's still only just 17, 18. But look, I'm not going to judge him before he even signs because I know absolutely nothing about Matty Jacobs, but I will be happy to see him come on board as it's an actual left back, something Reading have been crying out for now for a couple of seasons. Another transfer rumour that happened is that Lubala, the former Wycombe Wanderers striker, is set to join Reading as well. He is a winger slash a striker and actually scored against the Royals last season at Adams Park. He actually gave a little bit to the Reading fans as well, cup in his ear after he scored, but it will be a welcome addition. Look, he seems like a decent enough player. He has EFL experience as well, previously at Burton, and also at Wycombe Wanderers. And for me, there's a decent enough player. He was in favour of Matt Bloomfield when he was there for the first half of the season, but Mike Dodds didn't really fancy him, according to Wycombe fans. So look, it'd be a welcome addition. And again, worst comes to worst, it's squad depth. Other rumours that have been circling around is Josh Bowler is someone that Reading are interested in. For me, would be a fantastic signing, would be a massive statement signing as well. Currently plays for Nottingham Forest, but hasn't actually made an appearance for them. Has had loan spells at Luton and Blackpool, but actually started really and made his name at Blackpool, should we say. He did really well in one of their seasons in the Championship just after COVID. For me, is a really good player, and I'd like to see him join the Royals. But look, unsuccessful at a few loan spells at Luton and Cardiff over the last few years. But for me, look, if we can get Bowler on his A game, Reading would have a fantastic player there. Has never actually played under Championship level. So for me, League One would be the first time we'd see him there. So look, could potentially look a class above everyone else. And for me, I'm hoping that's the case, especially if we're able to capture the signature of him. Apart from that, there's no other real rumours flowing around. Obviously, everybody's talking about Yaku Mete still, but I feel like it would have been done by now if this was the case of him signing. But hopefully we still get Yak back, because for me, I would love to see Yaku Mete back in a Reading shirt, as look, again, would be a quality above everyone else in the division. But for now, we don't know, and look, I'm not going to sit here and claim to know anything, but hopefully we see Mete back in a Reading shirt soon, and that gets announced, as it's been the rumour for, well, the entire of the summer transfer window so far at Reading. That's going to be it for this one though today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. My name's been James, and we'll see you all again very soon. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.